South African Reserve Police Service, House Reserve Training Center. It's dated 26 June 1997. Dear Sir, Detective Sergeant Paul Robert O'Sullivan, the force numbers there. The above name has been lecturing at this establishment and external courses since 1993. Currently lectures in the following subjects, and you've mentioned this: the Constitution and Police Ethics, Police Administration and Procedures, Crime Investigation and Scenes of Crime, the Criminal Procedures Act, Criminal Law A and B, Statement Taking. So is it in the course of doing that you also trained, amongst others, our President?
That's right, Chairman. During the period from 93 till about 2000, I trained 1,500 police reservists in Johannesburg. And at one stage, which was in 1997, the course that we ran, there would be about between 30 and 40 students on each course. And the courses would normally last about 3 months. And that would entail, I was only responsible for the lecturing side of it, which would entail three sessions in the evenings and one session on a Saturday. So I had to train these various police reservists. And one day I was quite surprised to find that one of the students sitting there was Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, I'd already met Cyril Ramaphosa previously because I'd met him at Wandi's place in Soweto. So I knew him already, and now he's suddenly a reservist or a reservist in training. And it was quite funny, really, because I remember one day when you lecture, you don't just give a lecture and then leave it there. You give a lecture and then you have to ask questions. You have to get interaction with the students. And when I lectured these students, I would say, has anybody got any questions about this? Now, one of the areas we lectured on, as is mentioned here, is the Constitution and police ethics. And the Constitution was new at that time. And my area of interest, insofar as these students was concerned, was the Bill of Rights, because I wanted to make sure that we wouldn't be training police reservists who wouldn't understand the rights of citizens.
What training did you yourself receive in the Constitution or in relation to the Constitution and lecturing on the Constitution and ethics?
So I'd been to the police training center in Paarl. It's actually not far from here, where I did detective training and training of that nature. And then when the Constitution came out, I sat down, I can't remember the guy's name now, but I sat down with a constitutional lawyer in Johannesburg because I wanted to understand the Constitution. And the reason I wanted to understand it is because I wanted to make sure that the new police officials we were training would understand that the citizens of the country had rights that they previously didn't have. And the sort of things that bothered me as a policeman would be when I saw a person being arrested, that they used to assault them. And that worried me. It wasn't something I liked to see. And in one case, I can remember in 1994, I arrested an individual who had murdered a woman. And while he was in my custody, 2 police officials wanted to assault him. So I had to actually tell them that if they assault my prisoner, I'm going to arrest them. And that was problematic. But I decided to take a strong approach to that. So when I trained the reservists, I made sure that those reservists understood that if they breach the constitutional rights of any suspect, they themselves could face criminal prosecution. So I got myself up to speed on that. But the point I was making was when I lecture, I then get feedback from the students to make sure they understand what I'm saying. So I would give them an example and I would say, if so-and-so happened, would that be correct? And they would say yes or no, depending on what the example was I would give them. And then I would say, have any of you got any queries now? Do you understand everything? Do you have any questions? And one student popped out a question. I can't remember what the question was, but it was about constitutional rights, because that was the only area we were looking at. We weren't looking at the rest of the Constitution. We were primarily concerned with arrested and detained persons and the rights of prisoners. And he popped the question out like that. And I turned round and I asked another student, what do you think the answer is to that? And then I thought, oh, but I've got Cyril sitting here. So I point to Cyril. I said, Cyril, do you agree with that? And he said, why are you asking me? I said, because you were involved in the drafting of the Constitution.
That's him on the screen.
Pardon me?
It's him on the screen.
Yes. So I was a bit younger then. I had some hair. So I asked Cyril, do you agree with his answer? And Cyril said, yes, he's correct. And so that was the sort of thing that we used to deal with.
Okay.
And then at the end of that particular course, everybody gets what they issued with an appointment certificate, which says, okay, you are now a police constable. So Cyril became a police constable. And on every course, if you scroll up again, you can see it's gone now, there's a shield. And actually, I created that shield. I paid for it out of my own pocket. And we used to have a little thing where you engrave the name of the best student. So on each intake of students, I would invite the other lecturers to nominate a student for best student. And bearing in mind, in those days, Cyril was not involved in politics in any way, shape, or form. But he was nominated, and it was agreed that he would be the best student on that particular course. So when we gave him the shield, he keeps it for a year, then he must hand it back. When we gave him the shield, the media were there, and the picture was taken. Yeah.
Honorable Nombalo.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. I was interested in Mr. Paul O'Sullivan's response regarding the question that the senior counsel has asked. I think the question is, what official qualification did you get in order for you to qualify to train others about the Constitution? Now, the response that I heard is that he met a lawyer and then he asked about the Constitution because he was interested. So is that the only qualification that he got? Because I think the question was about an official qualification that he got that made him to qualify to train others about the Constitution of South Africa. I was interested in the response, but I'm realizing now that the senior counsel is moving on despite the wrong answer that has been given.
Must I answer, Chairman? Chairman, at that stage, there were nobody in the country that had any qualifications in the Constitution. They didn't exist. There were no constitutional lawyers. They didn't exist. There was no constitutional court. It hadn't been formed. So I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't want to train people in aspects of the Constitution, for example, the government and how it all fits together. I was only interested in the Bill of Rights. And I wanted to make sure that the students I was training, the students we were putting out, after they had received their training, that they wouldn't go out on the streets and abuse the constitutional rights of others. So there was no qualification.
You have a law degree. Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, do you have a law degree?
No, Chairman, no. I just learned, I went and sat with a senior lawyer and went through the Constitution and understood for myself exactly how the Constitution would work. And we worked through some examples. And when I had Mr. Ramaphosa, Cyril Ramaphosa, as a student, it was a great opportunity to canvass these issues. And that's what we did.
Okay. Honorable Malema, Honorable Matthys, Honorable Skosana, is your hand still up?
Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, you don't have any qualification to train anyone about the Constitution, even at that time, right?
Didn't hear the question.
You don't have any qualification, and you did not have any qualification to train anyone about Constitution in 1997.
No,
We're talking about you, not everybody, you.
no, Chairman, there was no qualifications then.
No, you did not have.
Okay, Chairman, I had no qualifications to train anybody in the Constitution.
When was the Constitution adopted?
I didn't train them in the Constitution. I trained them on the Bill of Rights.
Oh, la, la. When was the Constitution adopted? The one you are training them on.
What's he saying?
When was the Constitution adopted? The one you are training them on.
In 1996.
Was Cyril not part of the people who were at the center of developing that Constitution?
He was part of the group that drafted the Constitution.
So you were training him on a Constitution that he helped to draft?
Chairman, Cyril had to be trained as a police reservist. He chose to be trained as a police reservist. So, ironically, that training included understanding the Bill of Rights. It didn't I think I've made it clear, it doesn't deal with the whole Constitution. It dealt with the Bill of Rights and police ethics. So we had a module on that. And for that, we used to use different examples. And it was ironic that Cyril had to listen to training on the Constitution. But the good news is he agreed fully that the training that the people were getting was correct. And I was quite comfortable with that because it endorsed the quality of the training that we were given to the police students.
Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, are you suggesting that the president went to write the Bill of Rights collectively with others and only to be trained about the Bill of Rights after putting it into the Constitution?
Well, Chairman, I think we're playing word games here. The reality of the situation is that in order to be a police reservist, you have to go through a little tick box exercise. You have to get trained on this, you have to get trained on that, you have to get trained on this, you have to get trained on that. Even if you were part of the people that wrote it, you're now coming into a system where it has to be demonstrated that you've had that training. So, yes, it was quite a strange situation for me because clearly Cyril Ramaphosa knew a lot more about the Constitution than I did. But the reality is that's where it worked.
Before I take Honorable Matthys and Honorable Skosana, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, is it difficult for you to say Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa or President Cyril Ramaphosa?
I'm sorry, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. He's now the president. At that point in time, it was Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. He's now the honorable president.
Okay. Honorable Matthys.
It's also on the training, even the training of the police reservists. I thought we should just get clarity. Mr. O'Sullivan said he trained at the police academy or training center in Paarl. When did he graduate from there? Because he's now training even our reservists. So, and was the training to be able to train, or he just got?
I don't hear what she said.
Okay, my question, Mr. O'Sullivan, is this. You've indicated that you attended training at the police academy or the police training center here in Paarl. Am I correct?
Chairman, I went on a train the trainer course, where we were trained to train.
So, yes, so that's what I'm asking. So I'm asking, when did you qualify? How long did it take? How long was that course?
A 3-month course.
Okay, thank you. And then you were qualified after 3 months to train other reservists.
The course was a train the trainer course.
Well,
So
after 3
I was
months.
trained to train.
Okay. And it was a 3-month course at an academy in Paarl, the SAPS Academy in Paarl. Is that what you're saying?
Don't know what the question is, Chairman.
The duration of your course, was it 3 months at the SAPS Academy in
That's
Paarl?
that's correct, Chairman.
Honorable Skosan.
So, Chair, I just want to find out from Mr. O'Sullivan, training for 3 months make you to qualify to train others to get certificate or diploma. After you train them, what they were getting?
Chairman, we're talking about the early 90s.
1997, not early.
I received a certificate that stated I'd been on that course, but I mean, yeah, where that is today, I don't know, because we're talking about more than 30 years ago.
Yeah, but my question is what they were getting after you trained them?
Pardon?
What they were getting after you trained them? Diploma, certificate, or nothing?
They got an appointment certificate. They got a certificate that stated they completed their training. And the certificate included the modules that they've been trained in. And then once they got that certificate, they were issued with an appointment certificate.
So they were getting certificate, what? Is this your daily, like you are attending a seminar, after you finish a seminar, they give you something like the attendance certificate?
I can't make out what he's saying, Chairman.
So what I'm saying, do you hear me?
I can hear noise, but I can't make out what you're saying.
No, I think
it's coming across distorted. I have a hearing issue, and I can't make out the actual words.
Yeah, I think you need to get some hearing. Otherwise, we're going to be, repeating the same question over and over again. My issue for you was simple. You trained students, as you say, in 1997. Now, after training, what certificate or diploma, was it 3 months? Were you giving them something, or what was the value of that training? Because yourself, you were not qualified as well. Yourself, you were not qualified. Do you agree?
What is the actual question? I don't understand.
No, it's simple. If you want to understand, the simple question is, those students you trained, where they were awarded a certificate or a diploma?
I've answered, Chairman, that they were issued with a certificate that they had completed their training.
From the unqualified person like you?
By what?
You were not qualified to do that, am I right?
I wasn't issuing them the certificate.
Who was issuing them the certificate?
The training center was issuing them the certificate.
But they were trained by you?
No, I only trained them in these areas. They had a lot more training. They had firearms training.
No, but you said here you trained them. That's what you said.
No, what I'm saying is I participated in the training.
We are changing now. You never said you participated.
Let's do this, honorable members.
For clarity, Chair, on record, he said he trained them, not participated.
Okay.
He said,
Thank you, Chair.
he said that he attended training the trainers course in Paarl. And from there, together with other trainers, they went to train the attendees. And so those attendees, some would have been trained by other trainers on firearms he was training on a constitutional law.
Thank you, Chair. I'm saying he said himself he trained them, not now he's changing. He said he participated.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Chairman, it's the same thing. I trained 1,500 reservists. I didn't give them firearms training. I didn't train them on how to wear their uniform. I didn't train them on how to salute. I didn't train them on how to march. I didn't train them on how to arrest somebody. I trained them on the administrative items which is
You had specific themes that you were training on.
I trained them on the areas that I was trained to train them on,
So-
and I trained 1,500 of them.
When we come back from break, there is a hearing device there. You can try it and see if it will not help you. Honorable James,
What did he say? Okay.
Mr. Sullivan, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We are asking you, was the training accredited? Is what we're asking you. We're not asking you if they've received a certificate of attendance. It's like going to school for 12 years and getting a certificate of attendance. We are asking you, was the training that you provided accredited? That's what we're asking you. Can you answer that, please?
Was the training clear?
Was it accredited?
Credited?
Yes.
Yes, it was accredited by the police, sir.
By the police?
Yes, it was police training. There was a syllabus that was set there, a set of books. Chairman, we're talking about 30 years ago, but there was a set of books which we had to work through, and the books were issued by the police, and they were a syllabus, and you had to take them through the syllabus, and at the end of it, they got a certificate stating that they completed the training. They had to have exams. They passed the exams. If they failed the exams, training was terminated.
okay.
And by the way, Chairman, I didn't write the books. I just trained them.
Honorable Malem.
Chair, I'm just clarifying that the story that he says he has not trained people, and the way you were summarizing it is incorrect. It's in paragraph 16, where he explains how he was training people, and then he concludes by saying a total of approximately 1,500 students were trained by me, not trained by us, trained by me, in his own words, in his own affidavit. Me.
No, but I don't think you trained them. I trained them. I trained them in the subjects of constitutional police ethics, police administration and procedures, crime investigation, scenes of crime, criminal law procedures act, criminal law A and B, and statement taking. I trained 1,500 reservists in that training.
I agree with you. Unqualified as you are, you trained 1,500. I agree with you. You said that. In crime investigation.
Okay.
Okay.